RAWR, RAWR, RAWR. So today's RAWR is Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII, there's not much to rant about with Final Fantasy VII in the way of it was an epic game. Quite possibly the greatest game ever made. It actually says that on the back. This definitely was. It has a storyline that made even grown men who thought they were very buff cry. It had a storyline that made even people who were depressed laugh. It has a storyline that pretty much is one of the most epic storylines ever. It also had very, very involving gameplay, and it had so many different things to do in it. It wasn't just, oh hey, let's go out and, oh hey, some random battles and we're going to kill stuff with our weapons. But you also had to stop an army from destroying a city at the top of a mountain and save a, egg at the top. And you had to drive a submarine, and you had to, snowboard down a mountain. And you had all these different things that you could do, riding motorcycles and riding chocobo, and you just had so many different things to do that the entire battle system never got monotonous because you were doing so much else instead. This game right here, quite honestly, it was very, very awesome because of a lot of things. But yeah, this game has that's picture right there, and then here's the main character. So if anyone has never played Final Fantasy VII, which if you haven't, you're crazy. The graphics on it are now very outdated, very true, but it is still one of the greatest games of all time. And I am not the only one who says that. That's literally, man, too much glare on that picture. That is literally the consensus in general by pretty much everyone. So here's some of the main characters. Good grief. There's Cloud, and then over here you got Cloud and Ares. The other main characters and stuff, they're all interesting, but those are the two most. Tifa over here. Tifa. Good grief. Learn to use your webcam, me. Here, okay, let's try this way. Tifa, she is pretty much hands down, still to this day, considered to be one of the hottest characters in a video game. She was actually, for a long time, voted like one of the hottest girls in Japan, even though she was in a video game. There's more main characters. This over here, that is Sephiroth. Sephiroth is the most ultimate bad guy ever. He definitely takes the cake as one of the, not just one of the most, epically evil bad guys, but also because he also is relatable. Like, you understand not just that he is an evil, crazy person, but also you understand, hey, there's the motorcycle. You also understand why he went evil, and you also understand what drove him to that. And so it makes it very in-depth to be fighting against someone so hard, and at the same time, part of you is like, regretting it, almost regretting that you have to go this route, that this is what it came to. It's very, very, very good. If I have any rant at all, it is why. I mean, this game is completely, for its time, it was flawless. This game is such a fan classic and everything. Why have they not remade this game? Not remade at all in any way, shape, or form. The gameplay, the storyline, none of that. Don't even edit out Barrett's cussing, or for that matter, the captain's cussing actually. But don't even edit it. It doesn't need it. But just redo the graphics. When Final Fantasy Advent Children came out, I would have been totally fine. I would have paid good money to rebuy the game with those graphics. They've gone so far up with the graphics and everything, and these characters are so awesome, and the gameplay is so involved. Leave everything as it is, except just redo it to look better, so that the next generation of kids who can't stand to look at the old dumb graphics, you know, basically learn from it and grow from it. I mean, this is one of those games that after you've played it, you sit back in awe and realize that you're a better person. I mean, it's really, literally that good. Um, and, you know, I look at gamers now, and a lot of them are very, very immature, and a lot of them don't want to put any work into anything, and they don't grasp the concept of when something's that difficult and you've put that much sweat and tears into it, when you finally do it, it was worth doing. Um, it doesn't correlate to them, and this is one of those games that could break some of that away. People seem very, very into instant gratification, which is kind of not the point of gaming at all, and it's becoming kind of common for people to game. I mean, pretty much everyone I know games now. Even my parents, you know, game. Even, you know, people, I've met little 80-year-old women who game. I mean, gaming is becoming more and more of a commonplace interaction. I honestly think sports and, you know, wars even in the future could be done by gaming. You could, you know, decide, you know what? Instead of us nuking each other, let's just send my army in this game against your army in this game, and let's just see who wins. Yeah, slaughter without slaughter. You know, that would be fine. You know, I could see, you know, debates or, you know, things being solved with gaming. I don't think that a game should be limited just to the time in which it was made simply because of its graphics. I think games that are just epic and just literally grab you should be left exactly as they are, but with better graphics. Redo the graphics. You know, games like Lunar, games like Star Ocean: The Second Story, games like Brigandine, games like that, just you play them and then you play them again because you can't even resist. Games like Xenogears, games that Tales of Destiny, games like the original Secret of Mana. There's some games that just you remember them forever once you play them. Some games you're like, oh, hey, I think I played that one. Some games you're like, oh my gosh, you haven't played that? You haven't lived, you know? I mean, some games don't need a sequel. Legend of Dragoon, it doesn't need a sequel. It's just automatically just good. You know, there was an era when storyline was like the main premise of games because the graphics were more limited. And I almost feel like modern day games are kind of going away from that a little bit. Some of the games still have great storylines. I'm not going to say, you know, oh, all of them have bad storylines now or anything like that. And maybe I'm being a little biased. But I'm just saying some of the storylines anymore just don't feel as in-depth. They don't grab at your imagination as much because they can rely on the good graphics to make up for the bad storytelling. I mean, that's the truth. And games like this it should have never-ending hype is basically what it is. Games like this should be not a cult classic, not just a classic, oh, this was a great game, but this is a great game. Not was, is. So that's my rant for today. Yeah.